Morning everyone. So today we've got a debate in Westminster Hall to discuss the work of South West Water and how it needs to go further and faster to improving our coastal areas and waterways from storm overflows, sewage spills and pollution. Because over the last 3 years, this government has actually introduced the most extensive legislation in history to improve the UK's water network and to hold water companies to account. Whether this is through the Environment Act, the Agriculture Act, the Fisheries Act, and now the British Investment Infrastructure Bill and the Levelling Up Bill, we have introduced new and enforceable laws forcing water companies to act. And as a result of our work, companies are scaling up their operations to update our Victorian-era water network so that it can deal with climate change and the increase in population and tackle sewage and pollution. So what's actually happening? Firstly, water companies are being forced to scale up their environmental improvement measures and will be investing a further £7.1 billion between 2020 and 2025, of which £3.1 billion is being put into tackling storm overflows and £2.5 billion to tackle nutrient pollution. In the Levelling Up Bill, we're putting in new laws to require upgrades of wastewater treatment works, which is going to lead to an estimated 75% reduction in phosphorus loads and a 55% reduction in nitrogen loads. In the Environment Act, we've placed legally binding targets to be met by 2038 with frequent review stages. And we've doubled our budgets to address agricultural pollution, as well as introducing a slurry infrastructure grant. And perhaps most importantly, we've forced all water companies to invest more in tackling storm overflows through our Storm Overflows Reduction Plan, which will see £56 billion invested by 2050 to reduce storm overflows. And by 2035, water companies will have to improve all storm overflows discharging into or near every designated bathing area, which is one of the reasons I'm supporting plans to introduce more bathing water status areas across South Devon. We need to continue to keep the pressure on water companies to ensure that they're acting as quickly as possible. In the South West, we're set to see 100% monitoring this year. And to give you a comparison, in 2016, only 5% of storm overflows were monitored. It's now over 90%, so progress is being made. The powers within the Environment Act mean there are more protections and enforcements than ever before. And finally, it's important to note this is not just a politician's word, but actions that are actually being taken and are enforceable. So this government and Conservative MPs have not been voting to pour sewage into rivers, but rather have been introducing new measures and targets to crack down and stop this issue without passing the cost on to you, the British taxpayer. So we've got the laws in place, now we have to ensure their action, and we have the ability to impose financial penalties on water companies, as well as improving monitoring across the whole country to ensure that we can tackle storm overflows, pollution, and improving our Victorian-era network once and for all. So I look forward to taking part in this debate, reporting back on how it goes, and making sure we're holding water companies to account.